Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thanks for stopping by today. I'm going to be working on a double page spread today, and I'm going to be using this Stampin' Up! Paper as my base. This is an embossed white cardstock, and I've just flipped it over to the back side of the paper, and I'm going to take some washi tape here. I'm going to stick these papers together so that I can work on them beside each other or butted up against each other here, and the tape will just keep them in place and secure while I'm working on placing everything on my layout. And so I'm going to start off here with 4 photographs, and I've printed these photographs in 4x6 and 4x4. So I have 2 4x6 photos and 2 4x4 photos. And when I'm starting out here, I'm just kind of trying to decide how I want to place these 4 black and white photos. And the first thought I had was, instead of putting them kind of in a symmetrical fashion with the same size photographs across from each other, I thought that I would try this layout design first and see how I like that. I'm going to be working with the new Paige Evans collection, Oh My Heart. And so all of the different products that I'm going to be using come from that collection today. So it does take a lot of the guesswork out of what I'm going to be using for the products on my layout. I also showed you there that the top 4x6 photo there on the right side, I actually added a little thought bubble to that. And I don't know if you can see that. You might be able to see it in the still shots at the end of the video, but it's kind of cute. And I'll talk about that a little bit as I go through the rest of the process here. So I'm going to take this really pretty paper from the collection, and I'm going to use this as one of my base papers behind both sides of the layout. And it's going to be a piece that I actually lay across the gutter or the divide line between the pieces, so that half of it will be on one side and half of it on the other. And then the other pattern paper that I've chose there with all of the different colors in it is going to be in the center of that blue faded paper. So that you can see that I'm so far kind of working in a symmetrical fashion on both sides. And once I move these photographs so that there is more symmetry, you'll see that that's kind of basically the idea that I'm going with for the layout. And I did have these bits and pieces from some cut apart sheets, or a cut apart sheet from the collection. And I don't end up using all of them, but I started out just kind of playing with them and trying to figure out where I might want them to go or if I wanted to use them. Now I took 2 strips off of this yellow pattern paper, and I'm going to use a strip on each side so that it looks like it's going to be a continuous piece of that paper across both layouts. And so that is going to provide the eye line from one side of the page to the other. And I know I've said this in previous videos before, but was the yearbook advisor at the school where I teach for many years. This is the first year in a long time that I haven't been working on yearbook production at the school. I taught the journalism course at my school for a really long time, and I recently gave up that class to teach more English, and I entered a completely different job description here a couple years ago, and so I'm no longer teaching that journalism course, and I do really miss it. But a lot of the principles of design and that sort of thing that I use in my scrapbooking definitely come from my background in teaching that course. And one of the things that I always talk to my students about and was teaching them about is the idea of having an eye line on a double page spread. So the bottom continuous line in that yellow paper going from the left to the right is meant to draw your eye across the spread. And so I add that orange strip at the bottom as well, and I've just created a scallop edge on that with border punch from Stampin' Up, and that just adds a little bit of detail to that paper. And now I'm going to just back all of my photographs with this green and navy blue stripe paper from the collection as well. I'm just going to roughly cut that with my scissors here and just leave a little bit of a green border just to give that a little bit more definition and interest. And I'm going to back all of my photos, like I said, with that same paper. And you'll just see me doing most of that on camera here quickly. And I'm going to talk a little bit now about these photographs that I've used for this layout. So this layout is about something that happened actually last Easter, where Bailey's fiance was adamant that he could tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi. And so we made him do a little taste test, and Bailey and I decided that we would put the same cola in both glasses, so that we didn't actually put Pepsi in one and Coke in the other. We put both flavors or both kinds of cola in the cups. And at first he didn't think that he could tell. He thought that there was a difference to begin with, and he was sure that the one that he thought was Pepsi, etc. And anyways, eventually he did figure it out that they were both the same, but it was just a lot of fun. We had a good chuckle over it, and that's what these pictures are about. And the thought bubble says, I just have to read it on the layout here. It says, "You will not get this right, ... So it's kind of funny because we were bound and determined that we were going to trick him. So back to the layout here, you can see that I've added some circles. I just took that square pattern paper and cut some circles with my circle punch, and I'm just adding those as almost like a die cut on the bottom. I took some of the die cuts from the die cut pack to create little clusters in each of the top corners. And I've added a few of the little cut apart bits here and there. As you can see, I took one of the pattern papers from the collection that has the florals on it, and I fussy cut the florals, and I'm just using those as embellishments and the puffy stickers. So when I was working on this, I decided that I didn't want to take up so much of that white space that's in the areas around the photograph. So I wanted to cluster the photographs tight together at the gutter, so that the white space is around the edges or the outside of the pictures. And I found that with those really large floral pieces, there was too much of that white space being taken up, and I just felt like it was getting cluttered. So I just picked up that yellow flower, and it did leave a little bit of adhesive on my photograph. So I just took and put that little puffy sticker over top of where the adhesive is. So now that I've got kind of the clusters in the different areas and the embellishments where I want them, I'm going to start thinking about what I want for a title. And because I took that large yellow flower off, you can see that it now leaves a very logical space for where the title and the journaling can go. And there's an area on the right side of the spread as well where some more of the journaling can go. So I'm going to just use this title or these words from the puffy sticker sheet that says The Good Life. And I'm also going to use the chipboard alphas from the collection as well to finish up the title. And so the final title is going to say The Good Life Cola Test. And I just typed up my journaling on my computer, and I cut that into strips, and I'm just going to glue that down. And I wanted to make sure that there was journaling on both the left side of the spread and the right side, so that your eye is looking to the writing on both sides, and there's interest in that way. The story's being told on both sides of the layout, so that it's obvious that this is all supposed to work together. I think it's obvious anyways, just because of the continuity with all of the different bits and pieces. But I really like how this turned out. I do like doing double page spreads. The reason why I don't do them that often is because I don't have that many photographs anymore. When my kids were little, I did tons of double page spreads. But now that they're older and I don't seem to have as many photographs of the same thing, the same sort of thing that's going on, the same occurrence or event, I don't do as many double page spreads. I do quite a few different layouts of similar events, not always in the same video, but those layouts often end up back to back in my albums anyway. So But this one in particular I thought was a good example of using a double page spread because I did have several photographs, and it does allow you to print larger pictures and do a little bit of a bigger project. So I like how this turns out. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just adding some shimmers here onto my layout here just for some splatters, and I just used some pink and some yellow and some green here just to add a little bit more detail with some colors that are in the color scheme of this collection. I love the Oh My Heart collection. It's so much fun. The colors are so bright, and I really am enjoying using this collection. So here's the final layout. Stay tuned for some still shots. I did end up adding some little enamel dots at the end here, and I did that off camera. So if you look in the still shots here, you can see those. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. This is a little bit longer than usual, so thanks for sticking with me right to the end. And I'll see you another time. Have an amazing Easter weekend. Bye-bye.